do have an update. Let's listen to the mayor right now.
Our city. What took place last night is completely and totally unacceptable. And the people here behind me are committed to doing everything possible to find the perpetrators and prosecute them. This has no place in our city, period. The gun violence we are seeing in our communities cannot and will not persist, and we will continue to work hard to prevent gun violence in the future. My heart goes out to the victims and their families, and I thank God that there were no fatalities last night. And that is because our police officers responded with heroic and immediate action. Thank you to them once again for answering the call and saving lives. And thank you for working through the night, through this morning, to investigate this crime and to provide updates to the community. Thank you to the other first responders who stabilized victims and transported them to the hospitals. As more information becomes available, we will provide updates to the public and to the media. Up next, I'd like Colonel John to give you an update, including new information, and after that, we'll hear from John Kerp, our interim city manager, Councilmember Scotty Johnson, and then we'll take your questions. Colonel.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here to cover this. I think most of you have the information that we released earlier this morning. So this occurred at 1:38 a.m. At the intersection of Main Street and Woodward. Now, we had officers on scene when this evolved. We had additional patrols working through our civil disturbance response team and our SWAT team. They were working in conjunction with senior command staff members. We've had lots of crowds in Main Street through this past month to 6 weeks, so we've beefed up patrol. So it's important to know that this happened in front of officers. Our officers acted without hesitation. They acted precisely. They were diligent in what they did, courageous. I commend those officers. They showed tremendous restraint in their actions, and then they immediately responded to those who were suffering from gunshots and administered medical aid. They made it safe for fire to come in. They worked with our emergency communications section to make sure that we rendered service to these individuals. So unfortunately, we had a total of 9 people struck by gunfire. They range in age from 23 to 47. We had 8 males and 1 female. So right now I can tell you that we had 1 shooter that we engaged. We fired a single shot at that individual. That individual fled the scene. So we're still looking to contact that person. Anyone that has information about this individual, there is somebody out there that knows who this person is. Now, following that exchange of gunfire, when that individual left the scene, there were more shots fired south on Main Street. So we know we have at least 2 people firing. So right now, that's pretty much all we have. Please know, as the mayor said, we've had officers working diligently around the clock, people in this building here, the criminal investigation section working tirelessly, our PIO, everybody responding. And my thanks go to all the officers that responded. This is a day where I'm very proud of the Cincinnati police officers, our response. You should be proud of your first responders in the city of Cincinnati, police, fire, and ECC. So at this point, I'll hand it over to Mr. Kerp. So I think that what I'm asked to share with you is the name of the officer that discharged one round. It's Officer Joe Shook. He's assigned to our traffic unit. Joe started with us in January of 2016. So he was part of the civil disturbance response team. He was out there with his partner, And again, he acted immediately. He ran toward the gunfire. But for the actions of him, we can only imagine what type of injuries would have to people. There is no question that the actions of Officer Joe Shook and his partner saved lives. No question. So at this point, I'll hand it over to the senior manager, Mr. John Kirk.
Thank you, Colonel. Of course, my comments echo those of the mayor. Solving disputes with guns is a danger to all of us. But I especially want to thank the men and women of the police department, in particular Officer Shook and his partner, whose immediate response saved lives. I also want to recognize District 1 Commander Hammer, along with CDRT Captain Henny, who did an outstanding job in managing the scene and coordinating with our fire services last night to be sure that critical aid could get there immediately. And then also I want to give a special thanks to Captain Steve Saunders, who was our night chief, as well as responsible for coordinating our investigation last night. It's been a long day and night for him and for all of us, and I want to thank him especially for his work today. Next, I believe Councilmember Johnson has a few words.
Thank you. It's been said, but let me reiterate. This type of behavior is absolutely uncalled for and unacceptable in the city of Cincinnati. I am calling for personal accountability in this city. We want everybody to have a good time and enjoy our city. We want everybody to come downtown and have a good time. But personal accountability has to trump these ridiculous, outlandish beefs that are going on in our city. Personal accountability, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm asking for. The men and women of the Cincinnati Police Department and the Fire Department, ECC, as it's already been mentioned, public services, they give it their all every single day to serve the citizens of Cincinnati. The citizens of Cincinnati, the people that live in OTR, the people that live around Main Street, the owners of the business around there do not deserve this. They don't deserve this. And it's a very few that make it bad for everybody. So personal accountability, I'm calling and asking for that. If you see something, say something. It is not snitching. It's a matter of everybody in Cincinnati being safe and enjoying our great city. So to those that want to continuously come into our downtown and cause these problems, and like I said, it's very few, I pray, and I mean this, that every measure of law that you meet when we catch up with you, when the Cincinnati police catch up with you, you just have to face that. You just have to face that because you are making it unsafe for everybody in this city. Let me commend the men and women of the Cincinnati Police Department, the Cincinnati Fire Department, Public Works that had to clean up all that mess. We are a better city than this. And personal accountability and those that are trying to disrupt this great city, you're not going to get away with it. I do thank God, and we prayed in church this morning, that it didn't turn out worse than what it was. But now it's time for personal accountability and for people to step up. And when you see ridiculous things like that, say something. But to the men and women and the city workers that did an outstanding job, thank you and continue to try to do what you do every day.
With that, we'll take any questions.
Colonel John, could you talk a little bit about the possibility that that suspect was hit by that officer's bullet? Do you have any idea?
We don't know. We simply do not know. We could see with some video surveillance that the person that was shooting the gun fled the scene towards Ziegler Park. We know there were 9 people that were treated at University Hospital, but we do not know if the person that was discharging that firearm was struck by our officer's round.
You said that the officers were all standing right there. They were already working, a disorderly scene. How brazen is it for somebody to see your officers there and then decide to pull out a gun?
Yeah, I think that, Councilmember Johnson kind of covered that. There really aren't words. It's remarkable that we're at a time right now where people are that brazen. And frankly, I'm at a loss for words for it.
Can I weigh in on? Let me just weigh in on that, because I think you're putting your finger on something that is absolutely important to realize in this matter, that the gun violence is so inappropriate. People cannot resolve their differences without reaching for a gun. It's so commonplace that two officers are standing right there and shots are still fired nevertheless. We have increased our police presence on Main Street, as we mentioned, via the CDRT and SWAT. They're in uniform, they're on the street, and despite that, gunshots ring out. It's completely unacceptable. Go ahead.
Any idea how many shots total, the two shooters, how many shots were fired total?
Do we know that, Captain Saunders? 15?
Is that just the shooters, or does that include the gun exchange?
That would include gunfire as well.
And was it just a dispute between two groups that started all this?
Well, I don't know where it originated, but you could certainly see in video that there was a physical altercation between individuals, but it was a distance far enough away you really couldn't see the exact number involved. But that group broke, and then one of the individuals, obviously the person that we engaged with gunfire, began shooting at a crowd of people.
So were those 9 victims, were they believed to be in that original fight, or were those just innocent bystanders standing around?
Yeah, I can't answer that question. I'd be speculating at this point.
You mentioned surveillance video. Could you talk a little bit? There's got to be just gobs of it, right? A lot of people with cell phones, and then surveillance cameras on businesses and things like that. What's that process like with you guys right now?
Yeah, that's right. So obviously we have our hands on some of the surveillance video. Some of the boroughs have very good video surveillance, so we have that. The criminalistic section has been processing that for us. I did make a plea earlier this morning that if anybody that has any video surveillance or cell phone footage or anything like that that could help us in that investigation, it's very important that we can get our hands on that. So.
Does the city have any cameras?
Yes, there is some real-time crime cameras in the area, but it wasn't very helpful to us to try to identify the subject that was firing the gun.
Have you managed to determine if any of the people wounded, or have you eliminated all those people as potential shooter, as potential people who were firing in this situation?
It's too early for me to say that. So we're still, our primary concern right now is the health of those people that were shot. Obviously, there'll be a lot of follow-up that will happen in the next 24 to 48 hours.
You and the mayor both mentioned that this is kind of an area that your police have been looking at. You had a presence there before this shooting broke out. Are you thinking about changing your strategy on how to handle these kind of problem areas?
So, that's a really good question. We have a strong police presence. When you have the civil disturbance response team out there with SWAT officers, obviously supplementing what District 1 puts out on a nightly basis. It's difficult to know. You heard what the mayor said. This happened right in front of officers. We're scratching our heads really as to what we can do that's going to alter people's view. I think what Councilmember Johnson said, the plea for, people have to be responsible for their actions.
I completely agree. People have to be responsible for their actions, but Cincinnati can believe that that everything is on the table, and we will work hard to make sure that this doesn't happen again on Main Street or other places in the city. Obviously, it's an incredibly challenging issue. There's more guns than people in our community right now, and with the increased inability for people to resolve their differences without reaching for a gun, it's a challenge. But nevertheless, we are going to work hard to prevent this from happening. And so we are absolutely looking at all options in that specific area and around the city in order to do just that.
What other options are available that the city hasn't already tried? Is it a matter of more funding to current efforts, or are there things that maybe the city hasn't tried before that could be started?
Well, I think the city's been very generous with the funding to help supplement the overtime needed to cover these gaps. So we have many more officers out working than we would, even with additional officers if they were added to the complement that we have. So, you know, when it comes to funding, it's there. We're getting all the assistance we need from city administration. I will make this plea, though. You've heard about conflict resolution. That's our job. Call us. If you're involved in a conflict and you feel threatened, then call us to resolve it for you.
But there was a shooting also at the banks last night. Has it been determined that's completely unrelated to this?
We don't believe there's any link between those two shootings.
Unfortunately, we've been in this position with mass shootings before, some of which have been fatal. Is there some sort of protocol that you see it has in place that you activate, you know, calling all hands on deck, that sort of thing? Can you touch on that at all?
Yeah, I can't really speak about UC's procedures, but they are phenomenal. They work incredibly closely, obviously, with fire. I can tell you this, that our officers, when they first got to the victims, were applying tourniquets. That was very important for us. We did have, obviously, a large crowd of people that were infringing on those officers. We wanted to make sure it was safe for fire to come in, so we had to move that crowd along. But obviously, adding tourniquets to an officer's regular uniform equipment is very important for us. And I know, speaking to some of the doctors, that's been very, very helpful to save lives, quite frankly.
Mayor, I know it's the fourth mass shooting in the area this year alone. So how frequently are you having discussions in terms of addressing Cincinnati police personnel, the amount, maybe overtime issues?
Cincinnati personnel was a top priority for our most recent budget. We made a historic investment in 2 recruit classes. We passed legislation funding overtime. Our most recent strategy of increasing police presence both at the banks and Main Street costs money, and I support spending it on that. But as Colonel John just mentioned, it's not a resource issue. The shooting at the banks and the shooting at Main Street were not related. But for one thing, they both emanated from an argument. And instead of backing away or instead of having a fist fight, because of the prevalence of guns in our community, they shot at each other. It's 4 mass shootings in our region. It's completely unacceptable. And we are doing everything that we can from a resource perspective. Our law enforcement officers are up all night on the weekends in order to prevent this from happening. And despite that presence, standing right there, people are still shooting each other on Main Street. We need personal responsibility. We need people to call the police when they're having a disagreement. But we also need help to prevent the increase in guns in our community at every level of government.
I got a question too, Mayor, and he can answer too if he wants, whichever. With these recent shootings, shootings happen every week in Cincinnati. I mean, do you think it's fair to say that, like, with the new law in Ohio, with it being, anybody can carry a gun, permit or not, do you think it needs to be, be looked at again, especially with the recent shootings that's been going on here in Cincinnati? Do you think it should be, revisited?
Look, our priority right now is making sure that we provide care to the 9 people who were shot in this mass shooting on Main Street. It's to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But of course, the larger conversation around guns in our community is necessary federal action and necessary state action. And I have been very clear about my disagreements with the most recent change in our concealed carry laws. But we can have that conversation at another time. Right now, we're focused on this shooting and preventing this shooting from happening again.
Since the pandemic, it seems like we've seen this as at least I think I've noticed it as a new type of shooting. We've had the one at Smale Park on 4th of July last year. We have the one at Grant Park, which was a mass shooting where it's, we just had several of these shootings where you have two people who decide to pull guns out. They happen to be in the middle of a huge crowd, and a bunch of people end up getting shot. That seems to be at least something that used to be very uncommon, and it seems to be getting more and more common. Can you speak to this specific type of thing?
There are near misses as well. There was the shooting at Target just this year. There was a shooting at the Kroger parking lot. You know, the gun violence we're seeing is not the gun violence of the past that was concentrated around the drug trade. And this isn't unique to Cincinnati. This is all across the country. And so in addition to making sure police have resources necessary to do their job, as this council and I have done, we're also putting a lot of money through a program that was led by the MAG for mental health training. We've also provided resources for resolution of differences training. But again, we need community support, and we need the citizens of Cincinnati to recognize this devastating trend and work with us to resolve these differences without gunfire.
Can you talk about the methods used by police officers early this morning, I guess, related to the crowd control? There were some, I think, flashbangs and other things. You know, why was that decided? Were there any potential injuries to civilians because of that?
So why was that decided? It was decided because we needed to make it safe for fire to come in and treat the gunshot victims. We had a large crowd encroaching into the area. Well, obviously, you realize we had shots fired, and we didn't have those people in custody. So there was an imminent risk to the officers that were trying to administer aid, medical aid. So what we needed to do is push that crowd back. They formed a line in the street. These are the officers that train to deal with civil disturbance. And what they use is called bang balls. They roll those into the street. They're not targeted at people. They're targeted in an area. So near a wall or somewhere, it's a loud percussion. So it's a very loud noise, and that had the desired effect to disperse the crowd. Nobody was struck with anything. Nobody was targeted. Nobody was injured.
Can you speak? I know that a lot of other businesses on the street have talked about having instances of people ducking into their businesses to hide from situations like this, and this is just like something that in this specific strip that they've been dealing with over and over again. I mean, what sort of solutions or questions have specifically business owners been bringing to police about how they want this handled?
I mean, we need business owners to partner with us, to help us. I mean, they're the guardians of the area. They're there all the time. Even when we're not there, they are there. So we have to be working together in accordance. I think the mayor was talking about that a little bit. So Captain Matt Hammer's been working very, very hard with the Main Street Business District to strike that alliance and get everybody on the same page.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Oh.
All right, about 24-minute press conference there by not only the mayor, but Lieutenant Colonel Michael John, Councilman Johnson.